Hi guys, this is Mel Lara here. So I'm a middle school teacher, so I have been asked to put together a PDF printable for a colleague of mine, and he's not sure how to do it. I've got a bit of a background in making things up, as a lot of you do. It's not really his bag, so I'm going to make it for him. So I've opened up Google Slides. This is your typical screenshot slide, but it's just too wide because I want to make it an A4 size, which is similar to a US letter. The US letter is just a slightly smaller than the A4. But because I'm in New Zealand, I need the A4. I'm going to go down to File, then go right down to Page Setup down here. So click on that because I'm going to change the size from widescreen, and I'm going to go down to Custom. Instead of centimeters, I'm going to go to inches because I know the size that I actually want. I'm now going to make this 8.5 inches, and this is going to be 11 inches, which should make an A4 size. I'm ready now to add some text to make it look pretty nice. So go up to the text box. Click into the canvas and make it as wide as you like. So I thought I'd take over using fast speed and a voiceover. So now I'm writing in my words that I need to write, which is my spelling activity, and I'm going to bold it. And I used a different type of font, and I'm going to change it to Paytone, I think. So I'm going to go back in there, and it's towards the bottom. There aren't too many great font examples in slides, so I found this one, which is okay. It's Paytone 1, so I used that instead, selected it and made it into a spelling activity. Then I centered it, and then I put it how I liked it. And so the next job is I went over to the text box, and then I just typed in my instructions for my spelling activity, alphabetical order. And I'm going to select that as well and make it bold, and then probably change the font to Paytone activity, which is already at the top because I've already utilized it. I'm going to get another text box, and now I'm going to put in the words or the examples. These will be the words that I'm going to get the kids to put into alphabetical order, and so I put it at a decent size so they can see it. I put a capital P by accident because that's natural with Google Slides. And as you can see, I've made some mistakes, but I go back and I fix these up at the end. And that's just a box that I got out of the Shapes tool. And then you can type straight inside it, which is a different type of font. So I went in and I changed all the words and spelt them correctly. Right, now for my next instruction. I decided to get a line so that the kids can actually write on top of the lines. So I grabbed that little line tool, which is next to the shapes there, the shape tools. I really like the line tool because it's really easy to use and implement. Now I do chop and change this worksheet to suit me as I go along. I don't know if things are going to fit or not. That's why. So I put in another text box and I changed the font to Paytone again. See, fin, a window, a word in your list to match these synonyms. Again, I haven't spelled that correctly. I just hope that I realise that I spelt find wrong. Yes, I did. Okay. Now in brackets, I still keep the same sort of font in bold so that it's just uniform and kids don't get too confused. It looks a bit better as well. So these guys have to find the synonyms using a Thesaurus. And I've spelt robbery wrong. I put robberty because that's a word. And I'll go back and I will fix that up. Alright, so I've decided to change that font so that it's not too confusing for the kids. So the words in bold are more important than the ones that aren't. Took me a while to change this to robbery. BB. That's it. And then I decided to move it up a bit because it was too far down, because I realised I've got some more information and questions to put in, which takes me a while. If I'd made that into a group, that would have all gone up together, but I didn't. I put them as individual little lines. Right, so we went up to text box again, and then I'm filling in my next instruction. I've decided to put numbers in because, again, just to make it easier for the kids, and I'll go back and number the other two. Design a crossword, so there'll be no space for that. They'll go and have to do that on paper or online and then submit that back in or show somewhere where they put that in there. So I've changed it at 1, 2, 3 and number 4. Find the antonyms for these words. So I changed it back to colon rather than semicolon. Cowardly is not spelled right. And that's what I like about slides, is that they underline in red when you get something wrong. So I tend to touch type as I write, and I go back and fix things up. That's just my habit. It could be a bad habit, but that's how I do it. But as long as I proofread it, it should be all right. So I have copied and pasted using Command C and then Command V for pasting to get some more lines underneath the number 4 for the kids. So I do a lot of copying and pasting, which, you know, why reinvent the wheel? So go back to the text box. We're on number 5 now. Of course, it took me longer to do in real life. It actually took me about 20 minutes. Believe it or not, it did, but it's because I was dilly-dallying and doing different things. I've cut out a few things here. Many I've misspelt, and I fix it up later. So I've decided that could be great if I wanted to upload that on Google Classroom, and they can use DocHub or something similar to write in as the PDF, or they can just write in the slide as you want it. But I've decided to make it into a PDF eventually, where it's going to be printed out and they have to write on top of it. So on the next page, because it just won't fit, I've decided to put the last activity, which is kind of annoying because I like it all on one page because you're not wasting printing and things like that. But I couldn't fit it in, so here it is. Base word, you can put a hyphen in between it. I just left it as it is because I just did. Maybe I'm being a bit naughty. So it's looking okay at the moment, and I moved everything up again just to see if I could fit in that last one on the same page. There you go. Up, up, up. And still not enough space. Even if I'd made those squares shorter, it still wouldn't fit in. And then I decided to align it all. Yeah, it still didn't, I worked it out, it still wasn't going to fit in. So on the next page, I sort of left it as is. Okay, so the next page. Back and forth, back and forth. So I realised I did a mistake and then I had to redo it. So these are the instructions coming up. On a new line, add ing. I just got a bit tired. And then I just started to make it look a little bit more prettier. I realised, nah, not going to work. Go back to this one, make it a little bit, use the same font as I did in the first page, and then change it to the second font I was using, which was Comforter in Slides, Google Slides. So I'm pretty much almost ready. So I just wanted to double check it looks good, fine. Any spelling mistakes, any underline red? No. What I wanted to, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add in some clip art, but I hadn't quite downloaded it from Teachers Pay Teachers, so on my new computer, so I just left it, and I actually eventually decided to go online to grab some random bee clip art. And so I made it smaller. And I wanted to get rid of the colour because I don't want to print in colour because it costs so much in my school. So I'm going to make it black and white. So what I did is I went up to the format options on my right hand side, and then it just gave me a colour. So I went, okay, black and white it is, gave me an option. Double checking it. And then I needed to put the title of the worksheet for my colleague, and I'm actually going to use it as well too. And now I'm going to download it as a PDF. So it's going straight to my computer and my downloads, and then I can just attach that to an email and send it off to my colleague, which I did, or upload it to Google Classroom if I wanted to as an activity or an assignment, but I'm actually going to print this out tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.